Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Buff Breakdown. Yeah, we got back-to-back buff days, very interesting. And as you might guess, yes, it's more Lost Belt 5 stuffs. So today, we also got the first ever buff to a servant much like yesterday, and this time it is for Dio Scooty. The Gemini twins are finally buffed. It is a buff to their third skill, so let's see what we're working with here. So previously on a 6-turn cooldown, the third skill gave them 20% quick at arts up each for 3 turns, okay? And then they got a dodge for 1 turn. Pretty, like, whatever, not the greatest skill. In fact, actually, in this day and age, it was fairly weak for an SSR. Yeah, so I'm not surprised that they buffed this skill. So let's see what they did. So it is still a 6-turn cooldown, that hasn't changed. But now the quick and arts up are now 30% each for 3 turns on max rank for themselves. So they upped the number by 10% each. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, you can't have a buff without getting sub MP gauge as well. So they now get a 30% battery for themselves. The dodge remains unchanged as well. Okay, so there you go. It's a buff, all right? Okay. So what do I think of this buff? I think it's meh, sadly. Dioscuri has always been one of the easiest single target damage dealers to loop. Their looping ability has never been a problem. Their MP is ridiculously spammable, okay? The one drawback that I think they kinda, have is that their damage just isn't all that amazing. Like, they're an art servant, so, they'll always be able to easily stay alive because of Castoria shenanigans and whatnot. And their MP is super spammable because their, gains are so good. But the damage just isn't all that amazing unless you have like the really great, like a crazy copy of them, MP5, maybe even some grails on top. You're just not really gonna see the craziest damage from them. So the battery, I think is almost pointless. I'm kind of disappointed with that. I really wanted to see, like, let's say, some kind of more damage. Like, the funny part is they actually do have a lot of, things in their kit for damage. Like, they do have a bit of MP damage here, attack here. Their MP does a arts res down as well. They have the 3 turn of their main card type for the MP as well. But all that aside, they still don't do the most damage. And honestly, the buffs on the second skill are still 1 turn each on a 5-turn cooldown, so it's not like these have a great uptime anyway, and they're party-wide, so the numbers are a bit gimped for themselves. So if anything, I was hoping to see a bit more damage here, maybe even like a power mod or something, just to help them, really break out of that bubble. But yeah, because they refund so well, the battery, I mean, maybe it sets up for a better turn 1, but it really wasn't all that needed. Because I guess now with their second append max, you can already get a 50% from themselves immediately, which, again, enables a bit more easier use of stuff like Black Rail, but I don't think it was needed. The only nice thing about this buff, it really is the 10% increase for the main card types. That's about it. And it's only, like I said, a 10% increase. So it's not gonna really have a crazy impact at all. Now on the Saber tier list this year, we had them placed on a flat A, and honestly with this, I think I might still keep them there because this buff, it really is not much. It's just a nudge. And I don't think I'm even going to move them up even a half a tier to A+ or anything like that. They're still good. They work. Their MP even has that great utility of having both Invul Pierce and Ignore Defense, so that's awesome. Maybe that's why they're a little bit hesitant on giving them a lot more damage, because they do have that utility package. But I don't know, this buff really doesn't do it for me. It really pales in comparison to yesterday's Europa buff, which I was a big fan of, sadly. But not every buff can always be, amazing. It's just what it is. So there you go. Interesting way to start the week, I guess. I was really surprised to even see a buff today, because usually back-to-back buffs are days are really rare. But yeah, there it is. It's not a big one, but a buff nonetheless. So if you enjoyed this video, do be a solid and click the thumbs up button on it. It really helps out. And of course, do subscribe not to miss out on future videos. And again, as soon as there's buffs, news, something, anything, I'll be there. I'm gonna cover it all for you guys. Also, stay tuned because probably later today, you're going to see another upload, and it should be a fun one, and probably another one maybe tomorrow as well. So a lot of content on the way, of course. So shout out to my patrons on the screen right now, and Suit for being a big YouTube member. And otherwise, hey, see ya in the next upload, and a peace out.